Out of the PD, citizen want to complain on J. Leggett, 513, 1104. Date 5/25, 2021. Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Pretty good.
How you doing today?
Hey, what's happening, buddy? Hey there, how you doing? You Miss Ebony? Okay, good. Sergeant Hewlett with Clinton Police Department.
Sergeant
Hewlett?
Hewlett.
Yes, ma'am.
Ebony Jones.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit. What you got going on today?
I had an experience with, I guess it's Officer Leggett,
Okay.
and he was patrolling over there up the north side, blocking the area because of construction work.
Where at now? I'm sorry.
I think he's still trying to learn the area.
Right. Just relax, calm down. What you upset about?
Never had an experience like that with an officer. My husband serves as a police officer in the military, armed
Right.
service. It was just so bad the way he treated me, and it was scary. Well, it was just mean and very harsh. Scary is another word. But on Northside Drive, I have a 2-year-old that goes to the Montessori over there. And
That's out Clinton Boulevard.
okay,
That's what I said.
things.
Okay.
And the way it was blocked off, the Montessori is in the middle from both ends. And I didn't know what was going on. I pulled up and I just thought that it was something that's going to be quick and routine. I had time to kill, so I was content with waiting. There was no problem.
Right.
But then again, I did not know what was going on. And
Right.
I realized that where I was parked, I was blocking that road that comes up at Clinton Boulevard. So
Morrison.
I scooted up some so I wouldn't be in those cars' way.
Right.
And then Officer Leggett comes and was all like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I thought I was waiting because I know that the work. I was like, my son goes to school right there, and I'm just trying to get there. And he was all like, "Well, you need to turn around." And I was like, "There's no way to turn around, and I'm really not familiar with the area. So can you provide me some instructions?" And he was like, "Use your GPS." And he turned around and drove off. I was like, "Okay." And at first I was like, "It's just me. Maybe that was maybe it's just me." So I'm on the phone with my mom. I don't get data service in that area. So my mom was trying to give me directions. And I started to pull out. I drive a minivan. I don't use my mirrors. I use my rear view camera because it gives a better accurate view. Especially the red, yellow, and green. You just know how close you are. So it's on the phone with my mom. My mom's trying her best to try to figure out how I can get to school. And as I'm pulling up, there's other cars, and I'm bagging up the other cars if I didn't know what was going on. I was at the front sure they didn't know. So they're trying to pull up. There's no one directing us. He's just in the car, and so we're just left to our own demise. And he drives back to me, and I'm thinking, okay, good, he's gonna help me out. Mm-hmm. He was all like, "You're being a distracted driver. Get off your phone. About to hit a car." And I was like, "No, no, I'm not. I see where I'm going." And then he drives back off again, and I was like, "I need help. I don't know what I'm doing." So I go around. I have to park in somebody's house, walk 3 of my kids on that road to the Montessori. That was about 50 feet. And then the director of the school walks back out with me to make sure I could take my other kids back safely. And then I told the officer, I was like, "I just want to let you know that road is blocked off. No other parents are going to know." And I was like, "I just don't understand why you couldn't help me." It's like, I don't know this area. Mm-hmm. Like, the way that you treated me and talked to me was very harsh and not willing to serve at all. And he was all like, "You are not going to approach me aggressively." And I was like, what part of me carrying my baby, 2 kids, and saying that, hey, I just needed help, was aggressive? I did not raise my tone at him. I was not rude. I made sure I crafted my words. I tried to follow protocol of how to approach an officer. Mm-hmm. And then he started to, it's like he could say, "I did anything and it will be okay." I did not almost hit a car. He said that I was being distracted on my phone when he told me to use my GPS. And then he accused me of almost hitting a car because I was using my mirrors. I wasn't. I don't use my mirrors on that minivan. I use my rear view camera. Mm-hmm. Then he started saying that I was aggressive. And like at this time, I am like, instead of getting, trying to hold back tears, not yelling, not being aggressive. I already know better than that. And then he's shooting me away 3 times without failing to. It's like, what? I promise, I'm like, if I looked something else, he wouldn't let somebody else walk across the street with the 3 kids saying that they needed help.
You said if you was what?
And I looked, it's like, what did I, how did I come off being aggressive or any threats in a minivan with my 3 kids saying, "I don't know where I'm going." And then me following his directions, trying to use my GPS, him driving off from me twice, and then him saying that I'm recording all this. I want to see the recording to see how it's aggressive. Because it me getting emotional and crying because I'm like, I've never, ever been treated this way by an officer. Ever. You know, like.
Well, first, calm down. You're okay. You're not in no trouble.
I'm not, but that was.
You know, and I can say this. I know Officer Leggett, and all this is coming off to be very wild to me because, you know, he has a deep voice, but he's not aggressive. He's not a bad officer at all. He's a good officer, and I'm not saying that because we wear the same uniform. There's some officers that I work with that I don't care for, but he's not a bad officer. And that Montessori, I don't know. It hasn't been there for a very, very, very long time. A lot of people really don't know what that place is. It's been there for maybe about 2 years, maybe, give or take. And I may not be, so don't say, "Oh my God, Officer Hewlett said it was there 2 years," but it's 2 to 3 years maybe. And a lot of them don't know what that place is. Because we don't have Harley.
And I'm not even mad that he didn't know.
Right.
It was just he drove off of me and then yelled at me 3 times when I was saying I needed. He was unwilling. So, of course, I can't blame him for not knowing. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean he's unwilling to help. he was.
He gave you another little option that, because honestly, he still has to use his GPS in Clinton. I do too for some, especially these new addresses that we have. So I don't think he was,
He told me to use my GPS. He did.
and which is nothing wrong with that.
Then he went off on me for being on my phone. He told me I was being a distracted driver when I was trying to use my GPS, and then got mad at me.
And I'm gonna look at the video, and if we see anything that's not something that we don't like on there, that's not Clinton Police Department policy. If we see anything that's out of the ordinary that we don't like, we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna look at it
for future reference. Not pray. Hopefully, so far being here, I was just been more than willing to help out, to listen. What if me and my babies would have got hit?
Where did you walk from?
I had to park at a house. He didn't even care. And even if he didn't know, he'll say, "My bad. Oh, I didn't know."
Man,
Nothing.
so what did you want him to do? He couldn't leave that spot that he was at because
I didn't want him. He kept driving off away. I just wanted help.
right, and so him not knowing exactly where that place is, he told you the next best thing. Hey, let's try our GPS. But now if he had told you, hey, park in the middle of Clinton Boulevard and walk. No, we don't want you doing that. Safety's first. We want you and your children to be safe.
Well, he could have said that.
Yeah.
He could have said that. He watched the video. He drove off. When he said use your GPS, he drove off.
Okay. So what did you want Officer Reagan to do?
When he came back, when I said, "Oh, he's coming to help," and then when he told me to use my GPS,
right?
He came back and then told me to get off my phone because I was being a distracted driver. You tell me at that time, what would you have told me to do?
If you want to know what I would have told you to do, if I hadn't known what the place was, I'm like, man, you probably got to use your GPS, and which I tell a lot of folks.
He did. Then he told me to get off my phone.
But there's a difference. This is on your phone. Was your phone like this?
No, it was like this.
Okay.
Because my mom was trying to.
But did you try to explain to him, Officer Leggett, I'm just using the GPS like you told
him. I said, you told me to use the GPS. I'm trying to get directions. And then he drove off. That's what I'm talking. I can't follow him. I didn't know. My issue is not about him knowing.
It's okay, bud. It's okay.
My issue is because at that point, we ended up being left to our own demise.
Because if I know correctly, around back off of McDonald Drive, there's a church parking lot that kind of connects a little bit with that. And I'm not really familiar with the place. Like I said, we don't even go over there to that place, So I can't sit here and I think a church is pretty close to that area.
And it wasn't about the fanatics or mechanics about how to get there. It was about him he was harsh instead of helping. So for you to tell me to use my GPS, drive off, and I'm like, I couldn't even get not one word in. He had straight attitude the whole time. I don't know, maybe he woke up with a bad day. I don't know.
And like I said, that doesn't sound like him at all.
He
has a deep voice. He has a deep voice.
Even the deep. You could see him on the camera shooting me because I was like, "You just shoot me off." He was like, "Yeah, now do it again."
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the video. Like I said, I'm gonna look at it. And like I said, if we see anything that's not making Clinton, following Clinton guidelines, or we're gonna deal with that in house internally.
You're saying you should do this. I'm just trying to figure out what is the issue about him coming back, telling me I was being a distracted driver, then telling me that I almost hit a car, and then lying on me, telling me that I was being aggressive and saying that I was trying to inch on up to try to get to the school.
But look, okay. Maybe just like you're stating to me that he was harsh and mean to you, maybe what he gathered from you was being mean and aggressive to him. I wasn't there for one. I'm going to look at the video still, and so I can see about that.
I am giving you my complaint.
I understand.
So you can.
I understand.
I just wanted to, because he is wanting to say, because he told the director she kept trying to inch on up. I explained to you why, because I was at that intersection. I already had time to kill. I was not trying. When he came, I said, oh, I didn't know that was going on. Okay. But I was just sitting. So from his perspective and his lens, even whenever I tried to tell him, he was all like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. He wanted to just hold on to his own perspective. I could see from his perspective, he's looking from the front and seeing me not looking at my mirrors. I was looking, he didn't know I had a rear view camera. So I could see how he would think that. But when I explained it to him, look at the camera. He doesn't even acknowledge that. He doesn't say, oh, my bad, I wasn't aware of that. This is what I'm talking. I'm talking about just how he handled the situation. It's not about him being at his post. It was just how he treated me, how he talked to me, why was I being aggressive? And in what right as a civilian can I peacefully approach an officer to explain to him that, hey, this is it, without him feeling threatened? But why? I didn't do anything.
You can always approach an officer and talk with them, especially when they're not dealing with other matters, when they're not on other calls, when they're not doing anything else. And hey, officer, I just want to talk to you, ask you this question. Our officers don't mind speaking to any of our citizens. They don't mind at all.
I run a nonprofit in Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
My husband served as an officer in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to take this child out of school. I promise you, the last thing I want to do is come in here and try to over-exaggerate the situation.
Who said that you're doing that?
Just laying the foundation. I can provide him grace in regards to, I understand from where he was looking. It probably did. But even whenever I approach him and say, hey, officer, I want to let you know, because I felt like other parents need to know. If he didn't know, because I'm thinking maybe he just really didn't know that street. So they're going to have to come up a different way. Let him know that I really needed help. I was not being a distracted. I was following his orders. And then he just not once even acknowledge, called me aggressive. And I'm just going to be transparent. As a Black woman who's always trying to craft her words carefully for years and raising my girls so they won't come off as being an angry Black woman.
It's okay. Calm down. This is no reason to be getting this upset.
I know you probably don't.
No, what I understand.
That's okay. It's just
you're not going. You didn't go to jail. He didn't put you. He didn't put his hands on you or nothing. It's okay.
Why do those have to be? Why? I just don't want.
We don't always have to do that for one.
No,
so.
But then I don't want to be. I'm not an aggressive person.
Ma'am.
So, and I know that's probably roll off your back, but the mental strain.
But let me tell you something. If you're gonna talk to me, don't tell me what's gonna roll off my back. I'm listening to everything that you're saying. Nothing is gonna roll off my back.
That's what I'm saying. The same thing. When you say, "Well, at least you,"
because you're getting so upset, you're getting your little one upset, and
I'm not getting him upset. And I understand, as being the position of his leader, I get that. All I'm doing is expressing to you why I am upset. Just like you told me. I cannot tell you that it's not rolling off your back. You cannot tell me that being accused of being aggressive when I try my best to craft my tone, to approach him in a civil way, to follow his directions, and then him still going off on me. I wasn't the one being aggressive. That's all I'm saying. I hope you can hear the heart in that. That's all. And this is just me getting a complaint. That is
I'm gonna take a look at the video, and we're gonna if it's something that Clinton Police Department does not promote that took place on that video, we're gonna handle that internally. We will deal with that. We want all our officers treating all of our citizens the same, unless otherwise. Unless the citizens push it to the point where it doesn't need to we can't do that. But we're going to take care of the matter. We're going to deal with it. And if it's the next time that you bump into him, it's let's it should be a pleasant meeting.
Especially
You
over
know.
just that should never have happened like that. Something that minuscule, that small, should never. But you know, and maybe I should be okay with just being considered aggressive. That was not fair, especially if I'm approaching him peacefully. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, your complaint is not going to go unanswered. We're going to take a look into it, okay? And we're going to deal with it. I don't want to hold you no longer. I see your little one's getting upset. And if you need us, you can come back and talk with us, and we'll try to get whatever you need us, whatever problems you have, and try to get it taken care of. But
I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
you okay. You okay. Everybody does it. It's all right. Just have a seat in your vehicle and calm down before you take off, okay?